You want to add that draw shot to your game? I'm going to show you the quickest, easiest, most fun way to develop your draw shot. You might currently have a 12-inch draw shot, maybe 24-inch. Maybe you have trouble drawing the cue ball at all. Maybe you can draw the cue ball back, but you can't do it with English. I'm going to show you the easiest, most fun drill ever to do it, where you can get in literally hundreds of draw shots in the shortest period of time. It's simple, it's easy, it's fun. Let's get started.
Oh, are we on the air? Stay tuned to the end for bonus footage.
Okay, gang, I am going to show you today the easiest, simplest way to develop your draw shot in the quickest time period ever. What you're going to need is a pool table, a pool cue, an object ball, and a cue ball. That's all you need. You don't even need a pool table. You can do this on a billiard table. You're not going to need the pockets. What you're going to do is you're going to have a race. The cue ball against the object ball. You put your cue ball right on the head spot, anywhere along this line. You're going to shoot your object ball to the far end of the table. You can do this on a 4-foot table, or a 6-foot table, or a 10-foot table. It doesn't matter. Just stay consistent if you're going to be gauging yourself as far as your progress goes. Now, this is how you're going to develop your progress. You're having a race. You're bringing the cue ball back to this rail before your object ball gets from one end of the table to the other. So it looks like this. You give yourself a little bit of an angle so that the balls don't collide. And you can see that I got my cue ball back to the rail first. It looks very simple, but trust me, unless you have a pretty good technique in your draw shot, you probably will have difficulty beating it back at this short distance here. This is the distance that you're probably going to start, and you can see that I can beat it pretty simply. But then, as you get more and more advanced, these balls will get further apart. Some of you will have difficulty even drawing the cue ball back from this distance. There's about 2 feet between the balls. The cue ball is going to have to come back 4 feet before it hits this rail because we're on an 8-foot table. And you're going to have enough rotation on that cue ball that is moving back with finesse, not force. Because if you put too much force on it, the object ball is going to beat you back. So this is about par for me. This is the point where it's actually a pretty good race, the cue ball against the object ball. And you can see that because I took an angle on that shot, trying to keep the balls from colliding, I had a longer distance to travel. Let's shoot it again. This time, we're going to come straight back. And you can see it was pretty close to a tie. I think the cue ball actually beat it. But as you go out further and further on the shot, it's going to get much more difficult. This, probably an APA 4, you can manage this. That's probably 5% of the amateur population is going to make that draw shot. You get to a point where it becomes impossible for just about anyone. But what you're doing is shooting tons and tons of these over and over again. This is also a good drill for those of you that are playing on coin-op tables where you have to go in and get the balls by putting money in the machine. If you can get away with being on a table for an extended period of time without putting any money in the table, this is a good drill for you because you don't have to worry about shooting the balls off. You've just got one ball and one cue ball. Maybe it's the end of your rack and you just take a ball before you drop it in there and finish it off. But regardless of if you're doing it at home, you're doing it at a pool hall, you're doing it on a coin-op bar box, this is a great drill. You can also add another element to this, and that is if you're learning to add English, if you're learning to add spin to your draw shot, this is a good training ground. You don't have to worry about making the ball. All you need to do is worry about getting it back here before the object ball gets here. Now, one thing I will warn you about, as you add English to this shot, it becomes more and more difficult to get your cue ball back here before your object ball, because a lot of the energy that is going into that shot is being used up by the side spin on the shot. But nevertheless, it's still fun, it's still easy, and it's still a good way to practice it. Just don't get frustrated if you're not beating that ball back here. So if I shoot the same shot with left-hand spin, you can see I beat it pretty well, but you can also see that the angle that the cue ball took because of all the rotation. If I go out to my par and I shoot the same shot with left-hand spin, you can see my cue ball lost by quite a bit. And that is because all of the side spin that's going into the shot. That means that if you're going to practice your side spin, understand that you're going to lose some races. But that's the whole point of drills, right? If you were successful every time, you wouldn't need to do the drill. So work on that, guys. Have fun with it. Let me know how you make out with it. And again, this gives you no excuse not to shoot tons and tons of those draw shots if that's what you want to develop. Another thing you could do, if you like, you want to give yourself a target, shoot for the diamond at the other end of the table. Because in the real world, we do actually have to put these balls in pockets. So you can shoot for the diamond at the other end of the table, but make sure you give yourself an angle so that you do not have those balls collide. If they collide, you lost a race. That's the rule. Hit me in the comments. Let me know how you make out. Don't forget to subscribe. Have a great day. These are the things you're going to need. A pool table, 2 pool balls. Okay, gang, this is what you're going to need for this drill. You're going to need a pool table or a billiard table, a pool cue, and 2 pool balls. What you're going to do, okay, gang, what you're going to need for this drill is a pool table, a pool cue, and 2 pool balls. It also helps if you have a do-rag. You can also use a cap. It doesn't matter. No, I'm just kidding. It doesn't matter. Okay, gang.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe.